Did you know that something as simple as baking soda could actually help fade age spots? Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where we go beyond surface advice and explore the real, lasting truths that shape how we age. And today, we're joined by someone truly remarkable, Japan's oldest practicing physician. At over 100 years old, he still begins each day with a walk, still sees patients, and still believes in the healing power of food, purpose, and tradition. Few people have witnessed as many medical trends come and go, and even fewer have stayed as steady and clear-eyed through it all. Dr. Hinohara, your presence always brings wisdom that stretches far beyond medicine.
Thank you, John. It's always a pleasure to share this space with you. Today, we will talk about age spots that may seem like a simple cosmetic concern, but they are often one of the earliest signs that something deeper is changing in the body. And in this episode, we'll explore what causes these marks to appear, the nutrients that can fade or prevent them, the hormonal and metabolic patterns behind them, and the cultural habits that protect the skin into old age. We'll look at science from both the East and the West, and I'll share practical steps anyone can start today, no matter their age or skin type.
All right, doctor. As we're talking about this today, I'm reminded of one of my patients, Evelyn, 72. She came in worried about the dark patches spreading across her cheeks. To her, it felt like aging, something to hide under foundation and forget. But when we looked deeper, we saw the truth. Signs of insulin resistance, low zinc, and a diet that had slowly robbed her skin of its strength. That moment reminded me, the body never whispers without a reason. What we see on the outside is often just the surface of a much deeper imbalance.
So true, John. I've seen it over and over. The skin speaks in its own quiet way. And when we are finally ready to notice, the message is clear.
And before we dive in, I'd love to know, what's one traditional skin or health remedy from your country that you grew up with? Share it in the comments. These stories don't just connect us, they teach us. And it's truly something special, doctor. People from all corners of the world are here with us.
It truly is, John. And it reminds me how universal these concerns are. No matter where we live, we all age, we all wonder, and we all want to feel at home in our own skin.
All right, doctor. Let's start today's episode with something many seniors wonder about. What exactly are age spots?
Age spots, often called liver spots, aren't just a result of getting older. They're signals your body is trying to send you. They form when our skin's melanin production becomes uneven, often due to ultraviolet light, but also from internal stresses like chronic inflammation or poor liver function. Melanin is meant to protect us, but over decades, if our antioxidant defenses weaken, it clumps into those familiar dark patches. So, in truth, these spots are less about vanity and more about the quiet wear and tear on the body's front line.
That's a powerful reframe. The idea that our skin is recording the history of our internal balance. Do you think most people understand that their age spots might reflect something deeper?
I think very few do, and even fewer realize how reversible some of that damage can be. When we strengthen the body's ability to fight oxidative stress with nutrients, rest, and cleaner blood, we often see the skin begin to repair itself. The change is not instant, but it is possible, and that alone gives people hope.
So would you say that these spots are like the canary in the coal mine, not the danger themselves, but a sign that something underneath might need attention? And if that's true, it really reshapes how we approach treatment, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's an important distinction. You can remove the spot, cosmetically. But if you don't address the internal cause, the body will just find another way to speak. Sometimes, when we listen closely, skin becomes one of the most honest organs we have.
That honesty can be uncomfortable, but it's also empowering because it means we're not helpless, not just at the mercy of our genes or the passage of time. So let's go deeper now into those internal causes, the real roots of uneven pigmentation, and what every listener should know about how they might be forming.
There are three internal imbalances I see most often behind age spots: a deficiency in vitamin C, a lack of zinc, and insulin resistance. Each of these affects the skin in a different way, but they all influence how the body manages melanin and inflammation. Vitamin C, for example, is essential for collagen production and protecting skin cells from oxidative stress. Without it, the skin ages faster and uneven pigmentation sets in. Zinc, on the other hand, is crucial for skin repair and immune defense, and its absence often leads to dullness, slow healing, and darkened patches.
That makes sense. We tend to think of these nutrients as general health tools, but their role in skin tone is much more direct than most people realize. And insulin resistance, how does that factor into pigmentation?
Insulin resistance increases systemic inflammation and affects hormone levels, both of which can trigger excess melanin in areas like the neck, face, and underarms. In fact, we often see darker skin forming in folds or creases long before a person is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The skin responds to insulin overload as if it's under constant stress, and it darkens, almost like a form of shielding.
That's so important because those early signs might be overlooked for years. People might think it's just age or sun, when in fact it's the body warning them that their blood sugar isn't being handled well.
Yes, and the warning is subtle at first. A faint discoloration here, a rough patch there. But over time those little signs grow into the spots people finally notice and ask about. By then, the internal imbalance has often been present for a decade or more.
That's a sobering thought, that the body gives us a 10-year head start and most of us still miss it. But it also means there's room to intervene, to reverse course if we catch it early enough. Let's talk about that next, how diet, nutrition, and even fasting can shift these imbalances and bring the skin back into harmony.
Diet is one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools for restoring skin balance, and it begins with understanding antioxidants. When we eat foods rich in vitamin C, selenium, and zinc, we're not just feeding our bodies, we're equipping our cells to defend against oxidative damage, including in the skin.
And that's something most people don't realize. They're searching for solutions in a bottle while the real healing starts on the plate. It's not always about doing more, it's about doing what actually works.
You're right, John. And vitamin C not only neutralizes free radicals, but it also supports collagen to keep the skin firm, smooth, and evenly toned. A 2014 study from Osaka University found that consistent vitamin C intake not only reduced oxidative stress markers in aging skin, but also improved overall elasticity and pigmentation in participants over 65.
All right, doctor, but what about zinc? I feel like it gets mentioned less often, but I've seen remarkable changes in patients who were low in it.
Yes, exactly. Zinc is essential for immune health and also helps regulate the skin's oil production. And selenium supports the body by enhancing glutathione, one of our most powerful natural antioxidants.
So in a way, we're rebuilding the body's internal sunscreen. Instead of just blocking damage from the outside, we're helping the skin become more resilient from within.
That's a good way to put it. And this is where intermittent fasting can also play a unique role. By giving the body structured periods of rest from digestion, we activate cellular repair mechanisms that can reduce inflammation and clear out damaged skin cells. In Japan, we've used this rhythm for centuries, not as punishment, but as renewal.
I've noticed that too. Patients who fast often report clearer skin even if they came for unrelated reasons. Do you think that's because of the hormonal reset that happens, or more the drop in blood sugar and insulin spikes?
Both are at play. Lower insulin means less melanin stimulation, while the hormonal shift encourages the body to repair tissues rather than store fat or defend against constant inflammation. Fasting also improves nutrient sensitivity, so when you do eat, your body absorbs those skin-healing minerals more efficiently. It's not just what you eat, it's how prepared your body is to use it.
That really changes the conversation around skincare. It's not only about creams or sunscreens, but about rhythms, restraint, and nourishment. And that's something anyone can start adjusting, whether they're 40 or 85. But let's bring it closer to home now. What about topical remedies? The homemade treatments that people try with ingredients from their kitchen. Do any of those truly work?
Yes, some of them do work, but only when they're used with care and with the right expectations. Natural ingredients like baking soda, emu oil, and citrus juices can gently exfoliate and nourish the skin, helping to fade dark patches over time. But these are not magic fixes. They must be paired with rest, nutrition, and consistency.
So it's more like support for the skin's healing process, not a shortcut around the deeper work. What would you say to someone reaching for lemon juice every day, hoping for quick results?
I would tell them to be careful. Citrus can sensitize the skin to sunlight, and using it daily may cause more harm than good. Instead, use it in moderation and only at night, and never before going out into the sun. And always pair it with something soothing like olive oil or jojoba to reduce irritation.
That's a helpful nuance. I think people often hear natural and assume safe no matter what. But skin is delicate, especially with age. It can't handle the same intensity it once did.
Exactly. Aging skin has less oil and a thinner barrier, so we must treat it with more gentleness, not less. Emu oil, for example, is deeply anti-inflammatory and can penetrate into the lower layers of the skin, making it one of my preferred ingredients for topical use. When combined with baking soda, it can gently lift dead skin while calming inflammation underneath.
So you're looking at a kind of double action, exfoliation plus nourishment. And that's likely why it works better than just scrubbing or just moisturizing. Still, it seems easy to overdo it. How often should someone actually use a remedy like that?
No more than once every 2 or 3 days, and only for a few weeks at a time. After that, the skin needs a break. Just like muscles after exercise, healing tissues must rest. If you push too hard, you can disrupt the very balance you're trying to restore.
That's such a critical reminder. Healing is rhythmic, not constant. We can't just attack the problem every day and expect a gentle outcome. So now let's tie it all together. What does it really take to prevent these spots from forming in the first place? And how can we build skin that tells a healthier story over time?
Prevention begins long before the spots appear, with the way we eat, move, sleep, and expose ourselves to the sun. It's about building a system that doesn't need to overcorrect with melanin because it's not constantly under stress. Healthy skin is not just smooth, it's balanced, and that balance reflects the health of the whole body.
So if someone's never had spots, that doesn't mean they're in the clear forever. but it does mean they have a chance to preserve what they've built, if they act with awareness.
Yes, and that awareness is the difference between aging with vitality and aging with regret. Sunlight, for example, is not the enemy. We need it for vitamin D and mood, but it must be met with moderation and internal support. That means enough antioxidants, enough hydration, and enough time for the skin to repair between exposures.
And what about emotional stress? I've seen skin flare in people under heavy strain, even if everything else looked fine on paper. Is that something you've noticed as well?
Absolutely. Chronic stress weakens the immune system, spikes cortisol, and disrupts blood flow to the skin. All of that leads to dullness, discoloration, and slower healing. And over time, that imbalance shows up in pigmentation. We must care not only for the physical body, but for the nervous system too.
That's something our modern culture often skips over, the quiet toll of pressure, grief, loneliness. And yet, the skin keeps score. So if we want true prevention, we have to look at the full picture: nourishment, movement, emotional balance, and thoughtful sun exposure, not just topical creams or gene luck.
Yes, and when those elements are in harmony, the skin tells a story of calm, not chaos. It doesn't mean you'll never have a mark, but the body will respond gently without shouting through your skin. Prevention is not perfection. It's rhythm, respect, and the patience to let the body do what it was designed to do.
That patience is such a missing ingredient today. Everyone wants instant results, especially with something as visible as the face. But maybe the real beauty comes not from chasing time, but from aligning with it. And with that, let's move into our closing thoughts. What should our listeners carry with them from this conversation, no matter where they are in their journey?
We've covered much more than just skin today. We've talked about how the body speaks and how we must learn to listen. Age spots may seem like a small thing, but they often reveal big truths about how we've been living. If we honor those signals rather than silence them, we give ourselves a chance to age with clarity and strength.
It's true, and I think many listeners will walk away seeing their own skin in a completely new light. Not as something betraying them, but something trying to protect them. Before we close, I always love to end with a one-liner, something that captures the heart of your message. What would you say to someone looking in the mirror and wondering if it's too late to begin?
The longer you ignore your skin, the louder it will speak. Start listening now. Honor your skin, and it will return the favor.
That's powerful, and so well said. To our listeners, if this episode stirred something in you, take that as a good sign. You're paying attention, and that's the first step toward real, lasting health. We'd love to know where you're tuning in from. We're still gathering ideas and stories for future episodes, and it's truly inspiring to see this community growing across the globe. And if you're curious to dive deeper into age spots and skin health, our next episode is just a click away. See you there.